Friends, when the temperatures are minus 20, minus 30 degrees centigrade below zero, you need to stay warm. And in this video, I'm going to take you through everything you need to wear and a little bit of the science as to how those things keep you warm. Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to the homestead. As I just said in the intro, we're talking about clothing, how to stay warm in winter. Some of this stuff might be obvious, but I think it doesn't need, it's no harm in giving a reminder and perhaps introducing you into some variables around standard clothing and what to think about. My friends back in the UK probably think if it's 0 or -1, it's freezing cold. But this kind of temperatures we're dealing with here in Latvia are, well, today minus 20, forecasted minus 30 by the Monday, a few days' time. And we're looking at that throughout January and February, really. So we do have to deal with some pretty extreme temperatures, and we still need to go outside. We still have to do the school run. We still have to bring wood in. We still have to look after the chickens and deal with any emergencies that come up. So how do we dress to do those things? How do I dress to work outside? Because I still need to fell a few trees, perhaps when it becomes a little warmer. And by little warmer, I mean minus 10, something like that. So I'll go through, will I go through from head to toe or toe to head or inside out? I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Now, let's go from head to toe, I guess. Start with hats, shall we? Now, you saw me at the intro with a pretty standard, we call them bobble hats, but because they normally have a bubble on the top, but pretty standard looking hat. But these ones are lined. They have something called Thinsulate inside, which is the 3M version. They play on the word insulate, which is an extra lining. So it's not just, I'm not really sure what this is made from. So this is polyester and acrylic. But it's really designed, they say, we've been told, since we were children, that most of the heat comes out of the head. And so you should always cover your head. For different scenarios, I like different thicknesses of hats. If I'm just going out walking about with the family, then I want to wear something like this when it's ultra cold like now. If you've seen me in other videos wear my flat cap, this is woolen. If the because the ears are still exposed here, if temperatures are not too bad, back to minus 10, that's okay for me. Just for wandering about for 1 or 2 hours or something. If I am working, excuse me, if I need to go and do some work, maybe some tree felling or tree work, then I tend to wear something a bit thinner like this. Which is it's Protect 60% cotton 40%. So this is what's called a beanie. This I can put this on, keep my head warm, and then I can put my helmet on as well for tree work, arborist work. And to be honest, the helmet itself does keep me really warm, and I will come out sweating. This will be wet through after I've done a couple of hours work, which is one of the problems when you're outdoors and you're active. And I'll come on to when we talk about socks and stuff, is we do sweat, and water is the problem. Water is the killer, really, when it comes to cold temperatures. So that's kind of hat options. Then we got scarves. You saw me wearing a scarf at the front, at the start here. This is my kind of Latvian ziemas scarf. I think it's ziemas. These patterns, Latvia is very famous for these patterns and these scarves. Double wrapped around, double looped like this, quite tight to the neck. It's really going to help your throat and those things like that. I find scarves sometimes keep me too hot. I'm generally quite a hot person in terms of temperatures, and yeah, depending on what I'm doing, then I will or won't wear a scarf, depending on the type of coat as well. But these are great. something that's more popular, and certainly popular with my daughter, are these things where you just slide them over your head, and then they're a ring around the neck. I think it's called a snood, if I'm not wrong. Or snood maybe the thing that is a lot thinner and just goes over your mouth and around the neck. And so that's another option. These are quite popular as well. So then we have got kind of garments, I suppose. It goes without saying, everyone has a big winter coat, and what might be a big coat in the UK or more southern climates, southern European climates, is not a big coat over here. You want, the name of the game is layers, and I know this is mentioned as a lot as well. Layers is really where it counts. If you think you're going to get a massive puffy coat and that's going to work for you, it's not. You need the layers. So inside, for example, I've got on today is this long sleeved undergarment. I'm not sure what the right word is really, but it's not a t-shirt. It's not a long sleeve t-shirt. I'll say this now, and I'll repeat it. You need to avoid, if at all possible, cotton. Cotton kills, or to survive, you need to stay dry, or it's if you sweat a lot and you're wearing a cotton t-shirt, and that cotton will soak up all that sweat and then do nothing with it. It'll just stay. It'll get wetter and wetter. And then what happens is, a little bit of science, is water will transmit heat. Conduct heat 25 times more than air. So if you're wet, you're going to get colder a lot quicker. And you need a natural, something like a woolen fibre or some synthetic fibre which will draw that water away and get rid of it. So these are the sort of things that I'll be wearing in winter underneath. So long sleeves. Could be a synthetic fibre. I can't remember these. Actually, the label's missing, but it could be woolen fibre. They're not scratchy. If you're whingy and about scratchy stuff, then don't come up this way. Really, stay down south. But these are essential really for those. You could wear two of those that really build up that. Keep your core. You're trying to keep your core temperature up, so that this is where your heating generator is, and so it can warm up the blood and send out the blood to the extremities. This is quite a thick woven woolen shirt, which is, we're indoors at the moment, but that would keep me nice and warm. And then I might have a jumper on top of that, and then a coat on top of that. So I'll have 4 layers. Like I say, I don't particularly feel the cold in my main body. It's more in my extremities. So then we moved. The other thing I wanted to mention actually were to do with jumpers. Nice thick jumpers. This is my ex-army jumper. I wasn't in the army. I'm not going to claim to be in the army or a soldier or anything like that. I did, one of my early jobs was working with ex-military equipment, and so I picked up a ex-army service jumper. These I think are 100% wool. They're certainly scratchy enough, but boy, do they keep you warm. This, and you can pick these up from, there's plenty of ex-military shops in the UK, or maybe on eBay or something like that, and I'm sure you can get it in Europe as well. But British soldiers, squaddies, need to survive in all sorts of temperatures, and they know how to keep warm. And it's said even more so than maybe those in colder climates. But anyway, this will keep you really warm if you get hold of one of these. Moving down the body, as it were. Long johns. Everyone's probably heard about long johns. I don't wear them that often, really, because my legs don't seem to get cold. But a little bit of science is apparently your legs don't feel cold, but you should protect them, because if the body senses that the legs are cold more than you think, then the blood won't go any further than the legs. It won't go to the feet. So it's important to keep your legs warm so that your body circulates the blood down to your feet, because it's your feet which are on the cold surface. They will get cold first. So long johns are a good idea. It's the same. It's a synthetic material. It's the same principle as these long sleeve stuff. Exactly the same. Certainly, if we do get -30, then I will wear these if I have to go outdoors. In addition to that, then I might wear a pair of jeans, and on top of the pair of jeans, I will wear these what you might call ski trousers, winter trousers. So they are just a sort of thin material on the outside, and inside they've got that fleece type material. So double, it's lined. It's going to trap a lot of air, which is the name of the game. Obviously, is trapping air. And they're oversized so that I can wear them in different types of trousers, and I use braces because the oversized leg will give you an oversized waist, and then they'll fall off. So you need to use braces. Or at least I do, and they'll keep you nice and warm. And then we get down to socks. Let's talk about socks now. If you want 2 layers of socks really, and your feet do sweat a lot. I know this maybe sounds like it's stating the obvious, but if you're working outside, your feet are going to sweat a lot. Then we have a situation with a lot of water, and we have a situation where your feet are going to get really cold because of that conductivity of the water. So we need to get that moisture away from the skin as quickly as possible. The answer is woolen socks or some kind of synthetic fibre that does the same job. And I'm talking about, this whole video is really talking about, I'm not talking about survival situations where you're going to be outside multiple days. Although everything I do say is relevant to that as well, there's another layer on top of that. I'm talking about where you go out, do some work, come back inside the house, and you have an opportunity to dry off. And that's really important with the undergarments and with the socks and any kind of boot situation. So avoid cotton socks in the winter if you can. Well, not if you can, just avoid them. Put a nice pair of woolen socks on, ones that are maybe a bit, or synthetic fibres that are closer to your skin, a thinner pair. And then on the next, what we've got next is kind of the winter socks. Now, my mother-in-law, Oma, she knits Latvian winter socks and gives them as gifts every Christmas. I've got a few examples here, here, and I think I had another pair down here. I'm not bothered about the colour, whether it's rose pink or whatever. She uses whatever wool's available. These are really nice and thick, as you can see, nice and bulky. They'll trap a lot of air in there when you've got them on. They can come up over your trousers as well, out your boots. Got a nice sturdy heel, thick heel. These are the kind of things that you need on the outside. They're going to draw that moisture out of the inner sock and trap it there. When you come in, you can bring those in, and you can obviously dry them off for the next time. Got multiple sets because if you go out and get wet, come back, you want to change and continue work. It's good to have multiple sets. But if you come to Latvia, you'll see these for sale. If you come to Latvia in the winter, you'll see these for sale all over the place. Lots of, especially in the Riga markets. But people like to knit these. In addition, I've also got these kind of more felty woven socks, which again purchased here in Latvia. Slightly thinner, more a felty kind of woolen texture. Nice liner there. Great. Now, another example there of just standard shop bought woolen socks, which you might think of more like a hiking sock. I found these in my drawer as well when I was looking about. Found these at the back, probably given to me at some point. Let's look at the label here. They look like really good. They're sold as a walking boot socks. I don't know if you can see the label. Walking boot socks. There's a pair of walking boots on there. They look great. Look, turn them over. Ultra soft cotton blend. Pretty useless in the winter. Probably okay for summer. But once they get wet, the cotton's going to hold the water and your feet are going to get freezing cold. So pretty useless in winter, but okay for summer. So we won't be using those. Then we get into the outer garments, the boots. This is where it gets quite interesting, I think. So it's kind of three types of boots really. One is a Wellington boot, which with a liner, it's the same kind of. They're all much for muchness really, but in the other two types you've got is a standard walking boot, which will have a leather upper, a rubber sole, pretty watertight. I fit these with an additional felted woolen. This is 100% wool. When you're ordering these inner soles, don't go for what's false wool or all that kind of stuff. Look for 100% wool. That's what you need to be able to keep you warm. Keep the sheep warm. Nature provides, and nature's got the answer. So if you can get the ones with the foil back as well, they're even better. So it's a walking boot. It's not particularly a winter boot. It is a walking boot. But it will do, and make sure. And the key thing with boots, make sure that you get 1 or 2 sizes bigger, so you can get nice thick socks in there, with keeping your toes still loose. What you don't want is all your toes cramped up, because then the circulation will stop and you'll get cold feet. This is what's called a pack boot, I think, a winter boot. So you've got a leather upper, and then you've got a rubber kind of lower, I suppose, more like a Wellington boot, and a really sturdy sole. And these are really grip in the winter. They don't slip. They're the best non-slip. I mean, obviously we do have studs that we can put on as well. And these come with a liner. Now these are quite old now, and they were handed down, I think, from my father-in-law. And it looks like they've been fixed a few times. No, once. But if you buy these brand new, then make sure you get 2 sets of liners, because if one set gets wet, you can bring it in, dry it off, put the other set in. You can see they've got a thermal coating as well. I'm guessing the top is certainly synthetic, but I think inside is looks like a wool. Yeah, it's a woolen felt inside. I can see that. Again, these are much bigger. I can get 2 extra sets of socks in these with this liner as well. These keep my feet really warm. These are going to be at the pricier end. I mean, my walking boots were over £100 anyway, but these pack boots are really the sort of thing you need to keep you warm in winter. And you can get a really nice set of thick woolen inners as well. These are felt, woolen felt in the bottom, and then the wool skin there. You can see how thick they are. They're going to trap a lot of air in there and going to keep you nice and warm. So that's my kind of walkthrough on how to stay warm in winter. Do you know what? I've not talked about gloves, have I? Let's talk about gloves quickly. Got 2 or 3 pairs of gloves. These are kind of a neoprene lined glove. They've got the fingers where you can still use smartphones. They're okay down to maybe -5, -10, but they do make a good liner. So you can put this pair of gloves on and then put a second pair of gloves on. Then I've got these kind of leather suede gloves with a tinsulate, again that tinsulate stuff lined inside. These are good for driving. I like to wear these if I drive the car, go for a walk with the family. Then you've got woolen. These are woolen socks, woolen gloves with, again, a tinsulate lining. That stuff's everywhere, that tinsulate. That's just you wouldn't wear those if you're going to go for a snowball fight and stuff like that. It's just for general walking where you're not going to get your hands wet. And then my work gloves, I've mentioned these in another video. These were about, I think, 18, 20 euros, something like that. There was another brand that I was trying to get and I couldn't get here. It was recommended to me by someone in Sweden. But these are my work gloves. So they are lined, again, with a kind of tinsulate type material. they're hard wearing. They've got a hard wearing surface on the inside. They're obviously a leather with a plastic grip on it as well. Keep you nice and warm outside. I'll say this is my second season of wearing these, so these are really great. Well worth the money. So there we are. There's our tour of gloves. There's also the Latvian mittens. They're knit mittens here as well, but I prefer where I get all my fingers moving separately rather than the mittens. I hope you found that of some use. Let me know if I've missed anything in the comments below. I hope if you did find it of use, then we've got lots of other videos on our channel as well, which you will find of equal use, I hope. Do check them out. If you've not subscribed, do subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up as well if you would. That would really help us reach more people. Join us for the journey. That's it really. I've got nothing else to say. Thank you for watching. If you've come this far, I will say bye-bye for now, and I'll see you in another video very soon.